Hello guys, so today it is goal setting. Now this is where some people fall short because they don't spend the sufficient time at the start setting a goal that really hits them in the soul, really is their true purpose, is their why. And this, of course, we are talking about a fitness related goal here, but we could also be talking about a life goal as well. So your purpose, what's the thing that drives you? What's the thing that gets you out of bed in the morning? And that's what a good fitness goal will do, or lifestyle goal will do. So those days where you're not quite feeling up to it, if your goal is sufficiently motivating, it will give you that nudge, that kick in the right direction. Okay. So goal setting for increased performance. So increased performance, it can be anything there. So like I said, it could be a personal goal, a professional goal, a fitness goal. So the objective of today's session, going to understand why goal setting is important. Like I've just said, already touched on, in my view, why goal setting is so important. Yeah. You're going to have a clear picture in your mind's eye of where you want to go. You'll have at least one clearly and like precise, specifically mapped out goal, and you'll leave this session feeling like achieving your goal is inevitable. And if you wasn't already excited before you come into this session, you better be now, because gonna have this goal and you're gonna be feeling motivated and you're gonna have the sufficient drive to actually get there. Right. So why should you set goals? So just quickly, just wanted to just share a little bit of background about why goal setting is so important, and in my own personal experience, why goal setting is important. So before I set my goal, so it was last April. So what we would April 2023 right now. So in April 2022, after a 20-year boxing career, in 2017, I had to stop because of an injury. Because of that injury, I just stopped training as rigorously as I had been throughout my life, and didn't really change my eating habits, and just slowly put weight on. My health deteriorated. I'd got some really bad lifestyle habits in play, like eating far too much junk food, and just didn't really feel like I had much purpose. Yeah. And although I'd already been shown how to set goals, because I've been in this industry for like 14 years, what what I know I needed was to reevaluate what my goal was, because up until that point in my life, or up until 2017, my goal had been train for a fight, get in shape, training for a fight. Might put a bit of weight on in between fights, but then I'd train for a fight and I'd feel good again. So what I needed to speak to someone who wasn't emotionally involved in my life, and someone who could just give me some nuggets of information. So that's what I did. I went and spoke to someone and got some help. Went and spoke to a nutrition advisor. Like I said, I've been in this industry for a long time. I know about nutrition, but I just needed to speak to a coach, someone who could point me in the right direction. And she told me one rule, and this rule for me was to not eat more than one. So I was binge eating on certain foods, but what she said is, if you've had a nut bar or a packet of crisps, rule of one, so only one per day. And that small bit of information, as well as some other targeted goal setting, which I'm going to talk about in a second, really helped to keep me on track and heading in the right direction. And the other important part for me was setting the correct goal. So the correct goal for me was a lifestyle goal. So training and eating well to improve my health. I checked various measurements last April, and one of the measurements that I checked, we're not in April, we're in May right now. Where I checked specific measurements and one of those measurements was visceral fat, and visceral fat is the fat that surrounds your internal organs. And I scored really high on the visceral fat score, and that shocked me. That shocked me into action. That shocked me into actually taking some big steps forward, and my health's massively improved. I've seen some gains in muscle, and more importantly, consistency. So what that has done for me is it helped me to form a laser-like focus on my goal, and my goal is to reduce my body fat. So I've got a little bit of body fat that I want to lose. I still would like to increase my muscle mass. So what it's doing is this constant reevaluating of the goal setting process. It's constant updating. Whereas previously, when I was training for a fight, I'd get to the fight, I'd have the fight, and there's no new goal, and it's no goal to aim for. Scoff, 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 scoff. Loads of food, put loads of weight on. So it was this constant yo-yo up and down. So over this, just over a year, I've achieved for the first time in my life consistency. So that's how important goals are. So, so this is a definition of what goal setting is. Yeah. So goals are desired outcomes which give you focus and direction to the goal achiever. Goals help the goal achiever to exert more time and effort into their activities aimed at reaching the destination. So some real key words there, yeah. So exert more time, effort, and they're all aimed at reaching your set destination. So goal setting defined. So your goal should make you nervous, should get you excited, a little bit afraid about all the work that needs to be done. All right. So if the goal that you've set doesn't stimulate those reactions in you, then you need to relook at your goal. If you're like, well, yeah, I could achieve that, probably take me 2 weeks, then you need to relook at your goal. You need to set a goal that you think, do you know what? If I could get there, like when you set the goal and you look at it, it should stimulate this emotional reaction in you. You should look at it and you should be just like just picturing yourself there fills you with a sense of joy and excitement. So that's really important. And this idea of fear, yeah, so it should elicit some fear, right? Some fear about are you going to be able to achieve it? Am I good enough? All that stuff. But just remember, yeah, fear is false evidence appearing real. Yeah. So the fear of not being good enough, the fear of not being able to achieve it, the fear of having to make allowances and sacrifices, like all this fear, yeah, is a potential barrier. So if you can reframe that fear, turn that fear into positive energy, that'll put you in the right frame to go and achieve your goal. So, right, so this is like a more lifestyle based goal or a workplace goal example here, yeah, but it is relevant. So, and I'll bridge the gap and make it relevant for fitness as well. So, can you work towards someone else's goal? So, my view on that is you can work to someone else's goal as long as it runs alongside your goal, right? So, if we look at a corporate example, so if the company wants you to work harder to increase their bottom line, you could work that alongside your own goal. So, if you're in a sales environment, for example, by increasing their bottom line, you're actually increasing yours because you're on commission. That's that type of stuff. But if you're thinking about a fitness example now, what a lot of people do in today's society is they might look at what the media suggests a good physique you should be aiming for, but there's no internal motivation for it. So by looking at what the media is suggesting a good physique or whatever you should be aiming for, if you actually hit that, but it wasn't your goal, then that won't stimulate this joy and elation that you would think achieving a goal will, because it wasn't your goal in the first place. Yeah. But equally, if you go and see your doctor and the doctor says you need to lose X amount because you're pre-diabetic, and one of your goals was to be able to get in shape for a holiday, then that's where you can work towards someone else's preset goal, because you've got a goal of getting in shape for a holiday, and the two could run alongside each other. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Try to ensure that the goal that you're setting is for you and not someone else. Okay, that is the key part here. Yeah. So goal setting. So this time next year, Rodney, will be millionaires. So hopefully you've seen Only Fools and Horses. Great show. But what this time, I'm not going to get you to go and watch Only Fools and Horses. Don't worry. What I want you to do is write down your goal of where you see yourself this time next year. So pause the video, think big, be brave, and once you've done that, I want you to take a look at your goal and just acknowledge how you're feeling about it. Does it stimulate a feeling of elation and joy at the thought of getting there? So pause the video and do that now. So welcome back. Goal setting, and I'm sure you've heard it. Most workplaces, most people have heard of the acronym SMART. Okay, but we're just going to talk over it now quickly, just to give you a little bit more information about it. But it really is important that your goals are SMART. So specific, measurable, achievable, relevant or realistic, and time bound. Okay, so specific. So there should be no question of a doubt what it is you're trying to achieve, right? So is it you want to lose a stone? You want to run 5 miles in 40 minutes? Specific. Lose 5% body fat. Next one is measurable. So this will help with tracking to check that you're on target. If not, we can change it. So on a fitness related goal, how many calories should you be eating to reach your goal of reducing body fat? Look at your goal now and adjust it if need be. So add a measurable element in there if it's not already there. Achievable. So is it really achievable to say you want to lose 5 stone in 2 weeks? I'd say it's not realistic, which is going to be the next one as well. So is that achievable? Probably not. So you need to look at how you can make your goal achievable. All right, because if you set a goal that's not achievable, all that's going to do is it's going to be counterproductive, because what will happen is when you don't hit your goal, that's going to demotivate you and might derail you completely, and you'll stop altogether. So relevant and realistic. Is your goal relevant to your thoughts and desires? So is it something that is in line with your core values and your core beliefs? If not, then you need to make sure that your goal it does align with your core values. So the reason for that is because you derive more motivation from internal sources as opposed to an external motivator. There's a lot of research out there to support that. So it's really important that the goal you set is relevant and relevant to you and your internal desires, and also realistic, like we touched on in the last slide. And just think about what lifestyle adjustments you might need to make it realistic. Just have a look at your goal now and see if it's in line with that principle. And the last one, so time bound. So making sure there's a clear start and a clear end to your goal. This goal here, so run by the 31st of July, I will run 10K in 60 minutes. So goal, roadmap, by when, yeah? So you might write this goal out like so. In 12 weeks, on 31st of July 2023, I will run 10K in 60 minutes. I will measure this by checking my running times every week and report my results to my coach. This is realistic as I am currently running 10K in 55 minutes. That should be 65 minutes because you've already run it in 60 minutes, but you know what I mean. So should adjust that now. It doesn't matter. So I'll find the time to train extra by waking up earlier on my training days so I can train in the mornings. I'll